Today, I am in a fantastic community in a suburb called Mansfield in the DFW Metroplex. Mansfield is known for being a modern city that has emerged from a small town. And in this week's video, I'm going to show you a couple of houses here in the city, and I'm going to tell you why you still get that small town feel, but also having those modern amenities that we all want in a city. So if you're looking for a city close to the airport here in DFW that's got a little bit of both worlds, then Mansfield just might be the place for you. So stick around. Hey everyone, my name is Danae Hewitt and I am your go-to DFW Realtor with Brico Realty Services. I help people buy and sell all across the Metroplex, and lately on my channel I've been going around to a lot of different cities, showing you around the cities and showing you some homes of what you're going to get for certain price points in those cities. Also on my channel, I talk about all the things real estate. What does an option period mean in your transaction? How long is a closing date? Things like that. So if you are interested in a move here to DFW, you don't have a real estate agent, or you live here and you don't have an agent, but you're looking for someone to help you buy or sell, then please reach out. My contact information is in the description below. But enough about me. Let's talk about Mansfield. Population here in Mansfield is about 75,000 residents, and it covers about 37 square miles. And I recently went to a city meeting about Mansfield, and they say that they have about 25% of the city that is undeveloped that they are looking to develop. The biggest employer in Mansfield is the school district, which is Mansfield ISD. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the district later on in the video. And the second major employer is Mouser Electronics. So let's talk about why Mansfield is still considered a really small town. They try to do everything they can to preserve the history of this city. In downtown Mansfield, and I'll drive you through there so you can see it, they've got a heritage museum where you can learn all about the city. Another great charm that the city has is the elementary and middle schools are all named after former employees of Mansfield ISD, whether they were teachers or administrators. But those people made a big impact on the school, on the community, and so a school was named after them. So again, that really just helps you feel like you're in a really small town where hometown roots is really important to them. Now let's talk about the modern features that this city has. I mean, you name it, and we pretty much have it here. It's got the Star Center for anyone who is interested in hockey. It's got Fieldhouse USA, and for those of you that know what Fieldhouse is, it's a recreational sports complex, and it is always packed. There's always just a ton of people out there practicing. It's got Hawaiian Falls Water Park. I think there's only 3 in the Metroplex, and one of them is here in Mansfield. It's got Oliver Nature Park, and it is exactly what it says it is. You can go through the park and do some hiking, and then they also have a lot of activities for kids if they want to learn about kayaking, or if they want to learn about fishing, or if they want to learn about the animals that they'll find in the park. So I love that there's a nature preserve here as just something else to do to really make it feel like you're getting outside of the city and getting into some nature. The city also has a lot of splash pads, and those of course are so busy during the summertime because it gets hot here in DFW. I'm filming this in May, and it's already in the 90s, which is like record-breaking heat, unfortunately. But it's nice to know that we've got those splash pads for those kiddos to go to. There are a lot of shops, a lot of dining opportunities here as well. And as I go through downtown, I'll show you that the city is actually making plans to change up downtown a little bit and to make it more of a mixed use area. Mixed use meaning there's going to be businesses, commercial businesses there, but also residential housing there. So maybe it'll have some apartments or some condos above the businesses, something like that. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen here in the city, but it is definitely part of the plan. There are quite a few trails here in the city as well, and a recent bond just passed to expand the trails. So I think right now the trails that they've got are not connected. And the bond that just passed is going to connect the trails and then also make them a little bit longer. Well, that wraps it up of what the city is all about. And I'm going to go to 3 different homes in 3 different price points. So you're going to see what you get for your money. And I'm also going to go to a couple of different locations around town to talk to you about the school district and to talk to you about the housing market. So let's go. Well, I am at Emler W. Oliver Nature Park, and it is just kind of like this diamond in the rough park here in Mansfield. So behind here, they've got a fishing pond. And when I say like diamond in the rough, I mean, you almost like drive upon it. You almost like you're passing a bunch of houses, a bunch of commercial buildings and companies and businesses. And then it's like, oh my gosh, well, look at this park. Well, now I'm finally in the shade. So let me give you some of the housing stats here for Mansfield. And the stats that I have were as of April 2022. So the average price home was $466,460. That's an odd number, but that is the average price home here in Mansfield. The average price home in April of 2021 was $371,723. That's a big jump from year to year, that average sales price. We know that home prices have been going up annually, and Mansfield is certainly no different. Also, in April of 2022, homes were selling on average of 4.5% over list price, which is a big jump because just in April of 2021, they were selling at 1.9% over list price. That's also really big too. Something I always look up is the month supply for the city. And actually, this is the highest any city has had in the last couple of months that I've been looking up. It's actually at 1.3 months. And if you don't know, if this is the first time you're hearing it, what is month supply? That means all of the homes that are currently on the market right now in Mansfield, if they all were to sell, done, be sold, it would take 1.3 months for that to happen before any new homes hit the market. Most of the cities that I have covered have been under a month. So it's a little bit higher here in Mansfield, which is totally fine. We're still in a seller's market. Sellers are certainly getting over list price on average. To the type of housing that you're going to find here in Mansfield, you're kind of going to see a little bit of everything. So there are certainly some homes that are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old that we have here, and that's obviously in the older part of the city. There is a lot of new construction homes coming that are being built right now in 2021, 2022, and you've got, everything in between. You're also going to find some areas that are duplexes, and you'll also find, which I really kind of like, are some areas of the side of town actually closer to the Burleson side of the city. And if you have any questions about what Burleson is, I actually did that tour here, so I will link that here for you guys to see. So on the Mansfield side of Burleson, that's where you're going to find a lot more rural properties out there. You're going to find homes sitting on, 1 to 3 acres, but then you're also going to find a lot of homes sitting on 15 plus acres that are horse properties. So let's talk about the range of what I see on the market right now. There are some buy this home, it's going to be an investment, I'm selling it all cash, that kind of thing. There are a couple of those homes here for sure. But the cheapest, the least expensive home here right now that's active on the market that I feel like any family could easily and happily move into is listed at $315,000. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And lit on the smaller square footage side at the sides. I think it was about 1,400 square feet. And then the range, the higher end of the range, that 15 acres with the horse property, that is listed at 2.5 million right now. So you really have these areas of the city where you've got the rural part, you've got the new construction part, you've got the other homes that are well-established neighborhoods that have been here forever. But just one of the reasons why I love this city, because it really, really has a lot of what really anyone really could ask for. Great place to live, great school district, and all of that. That tells you a little bit about the housing market here. I'm going to go to my next stop and talk to you about the school district here. Before we go and look at a couple of houses, I have stopped at the Dr. Jim Vashaskis Center for the Performing Arts here in Mansfield to talk to you about Mansfield schools. And I know a lot about Mansfield schools because you may or may not know, I am a former teacher and I used to teach for Mansfield ISD. I was a theater teacher and I taught the middle school level, so 7th and 8th grade, performed shows as a teacher there, and of course directed just regular theater classes. So I know a lot about this district, but let me tell you a little bit of facts for you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the elementary, intermediate, and middle schools are all named after faculty members or a staff member, an administrator from the schools that served Mansfield. Well, the auxiliary buildings are actually named after staff members. So Dr. Jim Vashaskis was a former superintendent here in Mansfield, and it was formerly known as the Mansfield Performing Arts Center. And when he retired from being a superintendent, they renamed the Performing Arts Center in his name, which is pretty incredible. And I got a chance to actually sit down with him actually in a meeting with theater teachers when I was teaching, and he was a lovely man, and I really enjoyed the little bit of time that I got to spend with him one-on-one. But this facility is fantastic. The high schools perform their musicals here. It's got a state-of-the-art theater. When I was a staff member, we had Convocation here, which is like a big hurrah for all the teachers and staff before the school year starts. Lots of administrative offices are here and conferences are here, and it's just a beautiful facility that serves a lot of purposes here for the school district. So let's talk about the district. So as a state, the state of Texas says that 90% of their students graduate high school. Well, Mansfield actually has a higher rate. 94% of their students graduate high school. Pretty incredible. And this is something that I found in my research that I thought was super cool. So in 2021, Forbes magazine did an article where they said who are the best employers by state, and Mansfield ISD was one of those employers on their list as best employers in the state of Texas. And again, super cool. Here in the district, there are highly rated sports and fine arts programs. I mean, I'm seeing all the time that one of the high schools is taking their performance to the state competition, and the basketball team is going to state. I mean, it's just really incredible. So we also have right over here in this same parking area the Ben Barber Innovation Academy, and that's for higher level career and technology classes that students at the high school level can take. So one example is they actually have a culinary arts program, and year round during lunch, they actually have a cafeteria that the general public can go to and eat, and everything is run by the students of the program. Of course, it's overseen by their teacher, but it's just a really great way for the kids that are interested in the culinary arts to get that hands-on experience here. And there's so many other programs, welding programs, law programs, so that students are actually able to graduate with college credits at the high school level. So Mansfield ISD also has something that they call Vision 2030, and they've got a couple of goals lined up for every single Mansfield student. Those goals are they want all of them to be reading at a 3rd grade level and remain on level. They want every student to master Algebra 2 by the end of 11th grade. They want them to graduate with life and career readiness as well. So again, there's just a lot of opportunity here in Mansfield. They have STEM schools at the intermediate and middle school level. I mean, there is so much opportunity for your students if that is something that you are thinking about when you are finding a city here in DFW. All right, that talks to you about how wonderful these schools are. Let's go see the first house. So we are probably at the point of the video where you're like, Danae, can you just please show me some houses? Please, that's what I've been waiting for. Well, here we are. I'm going to show you 3 different homes and 3 different price points. And the first home that I am at is going to be at the lower end of the price point here. It's under the average sales price. It's listed at $389,000. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage home, and it is 1,922 square feet. And let me just whip this camera around so you can see it. So it's a single-story home, and this home does have an HOA, and the HOA is $480 a year. There it is right there. A couple of cars parked in the driveway. So it's got that brick facade that I certainly talk a lot about. The home was built in 2002. And so there's also a little bit of siding on the outside front window as well. It might have some siding on the back of the house. So inside you can tell that they actually have done a lot of maintenance to the house, which is certainly fantastic. With the house being 20 years old, definitely have some things on the inside that you guys need to maintain for sure. But I do really like this neighborhood. You can tell that people definitely take care of their yards here. It's a well-established neighborhood. Lots of trees in full bloom right now, and it's just nice character and nice charm for the neighborhood. This home is really close to Vernon Newsom Stadium, and that is where a lot of your aquatic events are going to be happening. So when I was teaching here, I had a lot of students that would come to my second period class, and their hair would be soaking wet because sometimes they shouldn't feel like washing their hair or drying their hair after they went to Newsom Stadium and had their swim practice in the morning. Like that was their PE, is they went to swim practice, and then the district actually buses them to their correct campus so they can finish out their school day. Which is another great thing that I love about the district, is they actually bus their students to the different campuses that they need to be at for any specific reason. All right, well, I am loving neighborhood 1, and now let's move on to neighborhood 2, where that home is going to be a little higher and over the average sales price. Let's go. I am in the neighborhood of the second house that I'm showing you today, and this house is listed over the median price point at $575,000. It's 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms with 4,483 square feet and a 2-car garage. And this home is sitting on just under half of an acre. Like I said at the beginning of the video, about 25% of Mansfield still needs to be developed. So any homes that are being built right now are going to be built on smaller lots. You're not going to find a lot of homes in Mansfield that have the bigger lots, especially in these neighborhoods. But I'm walking on the house, up to the house right now. Beautiful, nice, big house. It's got the red brick. And like I said, the house was built in 2005. Nice, big, stately house there. Really nice. I mean, this neighborhood, you can tell, is definitely well taken care of. The HOA here is $350 a year. I don't believe that it has a pool, this HOA. I believe so. Probably it's just for exterior maintenance. But I will say that it's got a really long driveway and lots of parking. So if you had friends that were coming over, which I'm sure you have friends, but that are coming over, that has a really, really nice driveway for you guys to all park and not be in the way of traffic or anything like I am right now because there's a car behind me. I love this neighborhood. Actually, I'm familiar with it. I did help some clients and friends of mine purchase a home here in this neighborhood a couple of years ago, and they're still very happy where they are. So in 2005, we'll definitely see a lot of the brick fronts of the house. You'll also see some siding on the sides of the house. Like the homes needed to be, 95% brick, and then the rest can be other materials. But that was kind of a building thing back in the early 2000s. And again, I forget that percentage, but I want to say it's in the high 90s. But even if you do have siding on the sides of your house or framing some of the windows, I mean, here's just an owner tip for you. You definitely want to check on that every single year and make sure that you don't have any chipping paint, that there is no wood rot around there as well, because those things, especially the wood rot, can be a conducive condition for termites and other wood destroying insects, and we definitely don't want that. Okay, that concludes house number 2. I'm going to show you another home close to $1 million here in Mansfield, and let's see what you guys think. We have made it to the last house. Can you believe it? I definitely want to know your thoughts of what you think about this city. If it's a city that you could see yourself moving to, let me know. Well, I am back in the South Point community where I was at the very beginning of this video, and this community is pretty much built. There are some lots you can build and buy on. In this community, you're going to find homes in different price points, around $500,000. And the home that we are seeing today is actually listed for $950,000. So it is at the top end of the price range. Look at that. It's got that beautiful brick and stone on the front of the house, which, if you know from previous videos, I love that. So for $950,000, you were going to get a 4-bedroom, a 3 full bathroom home with a 2-car garage. But this square footage, you guys, 4,234 square feet. So when a home has 4 bedrooms, but 4,000 square feet, you know you're going to get a lot of extra rooms for your family and for the people that are living in the house. Definitely an office is in there, a game room, media room, things like that. So this home was actually recently completed, but it says in MLS that it has never been moved into. So the buyers purchased the home with the builder, built the home, chose everything for it, but for whatever reason, just didn't move into it. So let me tell you a little bit more about this community. The HOA is $450 a year, and you're going to get access to quite a few community pools. Oh, actually, this house is actually really close to one of them. Lots of parks here, lots of walking trails, lots of fountains, man-made ponds. It's just a really wonderful community with lots to offer you. But one thing I want to point out about this community, and let me know what you think about it. So some of the houses do have a tree planted in the front. So I'm on the sidewalk, tree, and then right there on the other side is where you park. So if you think about it, these trees, I hope they don't get much bigger than where they are right now, because when your guests come over, or maybe you're going to be parking on the sidewalk in front of your house next to a tree. I don't know. I feel like that's a little weird, but maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Well, that sums up Mansfield, Texas, and homes here in the area. Let me know what you think. Are you considering a move here? Is Mansfield on your list? And if it is not, there is another brand new community called M3 Ranch, and I did a video there a couple of months ago, so I'm going to link that here. Definitely check that out. Thanks for staying tuned, and I will see you next week.